and welcome to this edition of NAFDAC and Your Health, the TV program that brings you updates on the activities of NAFDAC, the agency that is saddled with the responsibility of safeguarding the health of Nigerians. My name is Amanda Ugo. Today's edition of the program is basically on the recent flag-off of the nationwide Media Sensitization Workshop on the dangers of drug hawking and ripening of fruits with calcium carbide. We will begin with the flag-off that took place in Abuja, where the NAFDAC DG explained the importance and necessity of the workshop and why the agency is collaborating with health journalists on the sensitization. Then we'll go on to feature the continuation of the workshop in Lagos, where we shall be taking highlights of the lectures delivered by the resource persons from NAFDAC to equip the journalists with the necessary information that will enable them cascade the enlightenment to the general public. Stemming the tide of all acts that pose risks to the lives of the Nigerian populace by every means possible is one of the things that NAFDAC preoccupies itself with, particularly as it is part of the responsibilities enshrined in the agency's constitutional mandate. And in proving that it is up to the task it is charged with, the agency employs various strategies to ensure that the lives of the Nigerian people are safeguarded. One of the nefarious acts that have continued to be a threat to the Nigerian people is the hawking of drugs and other related products, and of course, the ripening of fruits with calcium carbide. Having been enlightening and sensitizing the public on the dangers inherent in these two unlawful acts and observing that some selfish and unscrupulous beings continue to endanger the lives of Nigerians through the act, NAFDAC once again, in collaboration with the Association of Health Journalists of Nigeria, flagged off a nationwide media sensitization workshop on the dangers of hawking of drugs and ripening of fruits with calcium carbide in Abuja. Delivering her keynote address at the flag-off, the Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Christiana Adeyeye, described the step as a way of furthering the drive to eradicate the dangerous acts.
It is my pleasure to be here today to flag off the NAFDAC Media Sensitization Workshop on dangers of drug hawking and ripening of fruits with calcium carbide. There have been clarion calls by well-meaning Nigerians on the need to take stringent regulatory actions to stem the dangerous tide of drug hawking and ripening of fruits with calcium carbide. In addition, several national dailies and non-governmental organizations have raised concerns on the looming danger and health implication of these two nefarious activities by certain unpatriotic and unscrupulous citizens in our country. Since 2019, NAFDAC has immediately, under my leadership, took some decisive steps, such as sensitization of the public through different media outlets, through enforcement and intelligence, through raids in fruit markets that have resulted in seizures and destruction of violative products. The flag-off for this sensitization workshop today is again a fulfillment of my promise to sustain and strengthen NAFDAC's existing collaboration with Association of Health Journalists in Nigeria towards mobilizing, educating, sensitizing Nigerian journalists to play a hotline role in our concerted efforts to eradicate the menace of drug hawking and ripening of fruits.
The DG reminded the gathering that the workshop is not the first, stressing that efforts have been made in the same direction in the past and that the move will be a continuous one.
You will recall that NAFDAC recently organized similar workshops in 8 cities across the country to raise awareness on the dangers of using bleaching creams. This was in line with my resolve to intensify and widen the scope of our publicity and public awareness campaigns as part of the transformative programs of my second tenure of office. I wish to assure you that NAFDAC will constantly engage the mass media as we strive to bring down to the grassroots level positive impacts of our regulatory activities.
Speaking further, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye said it is through efforts such as this that drug hawking can be completely eradicated. She also emphasized that drug hawks are putting people's lives in grave danger.
How do we combat drug hawking in Nigeria? It is through a workshop like this. The menace of drug hawking poses serious challenge to healthcare delivery system in the country. And this underscores NAFDAC's resolute determination to totally eradicate the illicit trade. Many drug hawkers are knowingly or unknowingly merchants of death who expose essential and life-saving medicines to the vagaries of inclement weather, which degrade the active ingredients of the medicine and turn them to poisons, thus endangering human lives. I underscored the word knowingly or unknowingly. If you get out of your house and you know that these drugs will kill people, may kill people, then you are a merchant of death. If you are doing it unknowingly, this workshop is for you. Most of the drugs sold by literate and semi-literate drug hawkers are counterfeit, substandard, or expired medicines, and therefore do not meet the quality, safety, and efficacy requirements of regulated medicines.
The DG went on to talk about how challenging it has been for the agency to curb the act of fruit ripening with calcium carbide and the danger it poses to human health.
The ripening of fruits with carbide is another public challenge facing us today, and the agency has deployed a multifaceted approach to tackle the menace. Fruits provide the body with micronutrients that improve immunity and prevent diseases, among other benefits. Fruit ripening is a unique aspect of plant development, which makes the fruit edible, softer, sweeter, more palatable, nutritious, and attractive. However, the consumption of fruits such as mango, plantain, banana, guava, orange, grape, and so on, or any other fruit ripened with calcium carbide is dangerous to health. Fruits artificially ripened with calcium carbide may be ripe on the skin, the inside remains unripe. You can identify such artificially ripened fruits if you notice that the fruits are all yellow, whereas the stem is dark. This is true especially with banana and plantain. In addition, naturally ripened fruits usually have brown or black spots, while those artificially ripened have traces of powdery substances and peel off quickly. What is the effect of artificial ripening of fruits on the quality? This includes considerable loss of properties such as color, taste, and feel, and such practice does not give the natural aroma and flavor to the fruit. These fruits do not possess uniform color and are less juicy than when ripened naturally, and have comparatively shorter shelf life. Calcium carbide, when sprayed with water, because usually what they do is they put the calcium carbide in water and then dip the fruits in them. When sprayed with water, calcium carbide reacts chemically to produce acetylene, which acts like ethylene and ripens fruit by a similar process. Calcium carbide generally contains impurities such as arsenic, lead particles, phosphorus, and so on. And these all pose several serious health hazards. Consumption of fruits containing these impurities may cause cancer. Consumption of fruits containing these impurities may cause cancer. When you keep eating the same thing, which we do every day, every week out, week in, they may result in cancer, heart, kidney, and liver failure.
Professor Mojisola Adeye concluded by reading the Riot Act to perpetrators of the unlawful acts.
I wish to warn that any drug hawker arrested by NAFDAC will be prosecuted, will face a jail term, and our enforcement officers are currently carrying out synchronized nationwide operation. We want to put an end to drug hawking. No offender will be spared from facing the full wrath of the law. In this regard, we solicit the cooperation and support of all other law enforcement agencies, Nigerian journalists, and well-meaning Nigerians in ridding the country of this harmful and shameful practice.
Speaking earlier, NAFDAC's Director of Public Affairs and the host of the workshop enumerated the successes that NAFDAC has made under the current DG and the impact these successes have helped NAFDAC to make.
Recently, another major battle that we had to take on was the battle against reckless use of bleaching cream. People were destroying themselves, and the DG was so concerned that she flagged off a workshop that we took around the whole country, Abuja, Lagos, and the system political country, and the news has continued to trend. And we can see the major impact. Some TikTok bloggers started making news out of it to join our country in the crusade. And I think we are winning the war day by day.
NAFDAC and Your Health has more for you. Stay tuned. Thank you for staying tuned. You are still watching NAFDAC and Your Health. The train of the Media Sensitization Workshop on the dangers of hawking and ripening of fruits with calcium carbide moved to the Lagos office of NAFDAC on Wednesday, the 19th of July 2023, where journalists were assembled in the conference hall of the agency to be sensitized on the health challenges caused by drug hawking and artificial fruit ripening. The Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeye, was represented at the Lagos workshop by NAFDAC's Director of Chemical Evaluation and Research, Dr. Leonard Omokpariola.
Apart from sensitization campaigns and enforcement activities, NAFDAC has commissioned a scientific study on the best approach towards mitigating the health hazard posed by ripening of fruit with carbide. And some of our directors will be outlining some of all this approach this morning. I have mandated some of our directors to take us through some few slides to be able to buttress and expatiate on what we have already said here. It is therefore a great pleasure for me to declare open this media sensitization workshop while urging you to assist NAFDAC in publicizing and disseminating knowledge acquired to the general public. I thank you for your collaboration and support for NAFDAC to rid this country of the menace of substandard and falsified medicine and unwholesome food, corrosive chemicals and cosmetics and other substandard regulated products.
Resource persons from the agency then took turns to make presentations on subjects germane to the focus of the workshop, which could further help participants to assimilate the discourse. First was the presentation of the Director, Food Safety and Applied Nutrition, Mrs. Eva Edwards, on food safety concerns on ethical practices.
Food fraud is a dishonest act or omission relating to the production or supply of food, which is intended for personal gain or to cause loss to another party. So please pay attention to those words that have been highlighted before. So a dishonest act or omission intended for personal gain. On the next slide, I'm going to take the definition taken from the Journal of Food Science, which says that food fraud is a collective term encompassing the deliberate and intentional substitution, addition, tampering, or misrepresentation of food, food ingredients or food packaging, labeling, product information, or false or misleading statements made about a product for economic gain that would impact consumer health.
The representative of the Director General, Dr. Leonard Omopariola, in his capacity as NAFDAC's Director of Chemical Evaluation and Research, made a presentation on dangers of artificially ripening fruits with calcium carbide.
Fruits that are ripened by whatever other means may not be able to contain the exact quantity and quality of the vitamins and the micronutrients that are in such fruit, and minerals also that play an important role in preventing some kind of deficiencies like vitamin A deficiency, vitamin C deficiency. Nigeria actually launched the compulsory or mandatory fortification of food many years ago, more than 10 years ago now. And yet there are people who can still come up and put I logo with vitamin A, sugar bars, sugar packets, and there is no vitamin A inside. Yes, we can call it food fraud, but I call it a criminal kind of enterprise. And it's very dangerous.
The Director, Investigation and Enforcement, Dr. Francis Ononiwu, took charge of the presentation, The Menace of Drug Hawking in Nigeria.
The major drugs that are sold or hawked by these merchants of drugs are antibiotics or anti-infectives, aphrodisiacs, narcotics and psychotropic drugs, analgesics, nematodes, and multivitamin preparations, herbal medicines, and also herbal medicines. Majority of these drugs sold by these hawkers are prescription drugs which require professional medical prescription, handling and dispensing to patients. These are some of the prescription drugs that are supposed to be prescribed by specialists. That is what these illiterates, as a illiterates, give out to ignorant people. And some of the factors, I want to list some of the factors that actually contribute to drug hawking. One of them is easily accessible.
The next presentation, which was made by Dr. Regina Gaba, was titled Good Distribution Practices and Surveillance Activities Towards Prevention and Curbing of Substandard and Falsified Medicines in Nigeria.
What do we really do in post-marketing activities? We conduct proactive surveillance, routine surveillance, risk-based approach survey, good distribution practice inspection for pharmaceutical products, reactive surveillance, monitoring of regulated products along supply chain, including supermarkets and other outlets, public alert notification in case we receive any international or in-house alert that there is a problem with the product. We carry out investigation, we attend to that alert notification and bring it to the attention of the public. And with the collaboration of media, they will also collaborate closely to ensure that this information pressure gets to the grassroots, especially if we are trying to recall a problem that have side effects or have human effect. How do we achieve that without the media?
Rounding off the session for presentations, NAFDAC's Deputy Director, Public Affairs, Mrs. Christiana Obiazikwo, spoke on the influence of mass media campaign on health behavioral change.
What is the health issue and focus of this campaign? Hawking and carbide. Ripening fruit with carbide and hawking of drugs. Those are the focal points for today's workshop. What is mass media? We also, how do we use this mass media to change the behavioral pattern of people? What kind of reports can we use to make positive impact? What strategy of reporting system can we deploy to ensure we achieve our set goal? How do we communicate to all target audience? Because of course, you know that it's not the way you talk to the market woman. That's not the way you're going to report to children in school. If you're writing a magazine, there's a reporting standard. Then if you're writing a video, and if you're in the social media that is going to be very interactive, there's a way you dish out your information. And we have our target goal to affect behavioral change, the behavioral pattern. And if our campaign is not the way we report, whatever we know, today we have been trained, our directors, we've all spoken, train you so that you report as though you own the topic. So the way you report will make a great change in this kind of behavioral pattern that we have seen today.
The media sensitization is billed to also take place across all geopolitical zones in Nigeria to spread the enlightenment throughout the nation. Thank you for watching today's edition of NAFDAC and Your Health. Another informative package will come your way same time, same station next week. If you have questions, complaints, or reports, please reach out to us and we'll be ready to answer you.
You can reach NAFDAC via toll-free numbers. For inquiries, call 0700 162 3322. For complaints, call 0800 162 3322. You may also email NAFDAC at nafdac.gov.ng. If you have complaints about any form of misconduct, you can reach the Reforms Unit via email reforms@nafdac.gov.ng or call the Reforms hotlines on 0909 763 0506 or 0909 763 0507. NAFDAC, customer focused, agency minded.
It is unlawful to import, produce, distribute, market, or sell fake and adulterated food products, drugs, cosmetics, chemicals, and medical equipment. Do not be part of any activities that will jettison the health of the public. We'll come your way again next week. Bye for now.